Morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Tuesday, the 6th day of January 2026. I hope you're all safe and healthy today, your family safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in health, along with first responders every day trying their best to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage, keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children victims of child molestation and pedophilia. Those that are out here trying to help those that are victims of prostitution, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses upon the perpetrators, profiteers, and perverts that create the demand and cause these industries to exist. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, military veterans, homeless, United States of America. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There was a basketball game, if you want to call it that, last night in Detroit. New York Knicks got destroyed by the Detroit Pistons, 121-90, and it wasn't even that close. This was the worst loss of the season. It's the worst loss of the season. We're at the lowest point for the Knicks of the season. And in a sense, that's actually good news because you can only go up from here. But there are some glaring issues that I'm having right now. And number one, I don't want to hear from anyone. See, look, this channel is about the Knicks and for the Knicks. Don't come in here thinking I'm your rabbi and you can go ahead and throw all your little vomit at me because I'm going to just delete you. I don't want to hear it. Okay? And there's always those media types that you could tell the ones that are not real. Because when the Knicks are low, they're already telling you, oh, the season's over. Oh, my God, this is done. Oh, the Knicks cannot do this. So they need to go make a trade to make them. No. None of that is true. Okay? None of it. So let's go into it. Under Tom Thibodeau, you know what? Win, lose, or draw, you knew what he was pushing. Defense, rebounding, protecting the paint. Okay? There were things that didn't always happen the way we wanted. Like there wasn't always good ball movement. There wasn't always rebounding the way he wanted. 3-point defense wasn't always there. But you knew every game what he wanted. And most times he got what he wanted. The big drawback, and James Dolan mentioned it yesterday, they wanted him to expand his rotation a little bit, and he wouldn't do it. He was stubborn, okay? Okay, I think all great coaches are somewhat stubborn. That's why they're great coaches. But that's that. Tom Thibodeau always had a scowl on his face like Bernard King. He wasn't trying to be happy. He wasn't trying to smile. And no, business. Mike Brown's the opposite. Always smiling, supposed to be collaborating, all this, all that. Okay, look. Last night, the Knicks had 15 assists. Jalen Brunson had 0 assists. The other day, I've been saying for like the last week, Jalen Brunson is the head of the snake. The other day, somebody said, you seem to be picking on Jalen Brunson. Stop being an idiot. Let me explain again for the knuckleheads in the crowd what it means to be the head of the snake in a basketball game, in a basketball team. Snake's head moves and the body follows. Without the head, the snake dies. So in Jalen Brunson's case, the team goes as he goes. And the direction he points is the direction they go. One of the problems we have had with him, and again, I'm not talking about trading him. I'm not giving up on him. I still believe he's an MVP candidate. He doesn't pass the ball enough. Especially in the beginning of a game. Last night, for example, in the first possession, they got Karl Anthony Towns the ball at the high post. He finds a cutting Anunoby who got fouled, hit one of the 2 foul shots. When a team like Detroit is overplaying you, which they were doing, backdoor is the way to go. So I said, oh, this is good because right away they're gonna have to back up off you if you cutting backdoor. But after that, Brunson took like the next 4 or 5 shots. He bound out the clock. And what happens is, even if he scores, some knuckleheads say, well, if he didn't score, listen, if you're taking all the shots, you better damn well score. But what happens is you freeze out the rest of your team. It's a team game. We want Jalen Brunson in the fourth quarter, like when we ended Detroit's season last year. We want him then taking the ball. But you don't want him doing it in the first quarter. And he's been doing that too much. Last night, he gets 21 shots. Karl Anthony Towns had 4 shots. 4. We're not going to win like that. Now, this is the thing. For all of the naysayers and negative Nellies and idiots out here that need help on somebody's couch, look, this ain't the end of the season. And how do I know this? Because there's been games when Jalen Brunson has passed the ball and gone off ball. There's been games when Karl Anthony Towns had the offense running through him and the Knicks were winning. So we know they can do it. They have gotten away from it. And this is the thing too. I'm not blaming, it sounds like I'm blaming Brunson, I guess I am, but really I'm blaming Mike Brown. Because this is the thing. Before the game, they had Isaiah Thomas on Peacock giving the pre-game talk, right? And Isaiah Thomas said, Detroit needs this game because they got to psychologically prove to themselves that they can beat the Knicks because the Knicks beat them last year on their home floor. And that was true. And then the Knicks have to be ready for that, both in physicality and in game plan. How many times do we have to see Jalen Brunson have 6 turnovers because he's trying to fight pressure on his own? And when is Brown going to let this stop? Going to say, stop it. Last year, when Tom Thibodeau was coaching, they was doing this to Brunson, and Thibodeau adjusted and had another guy come bring the ball up. What's wrong with this cat that he can't catch that? I don't know. But 6 turnovers, no assists, and he's not going to get it done. Then the tendency is with Brunson, especially when Josh Hart is not playing. See, when Josh Hart is playing with Brunson, and Josh Hart ain't no savior. He's a really good player. He's a really good championship piece in my view. But Brunson playing with Hart, he tends to get more involved in both offense and defense, even if his shot is not falling. But when he's not playing with Hart and his shot is not falling, he really doesn't play defense. And then he kind of hurt his ankle a little bit, and that makes it worse, okay? So it was good. I am glad in a sense. And I turned the game off after the third quarter. I think it was like maybe the first 2 minutes of the fourth. I turned the game off. I couldn't watch anymore. The basketball was bad. It was bad basketball. It wasn't even just like a bad night, like they were missing shots they could hit usually. That happens. No, this was just bad basketball. Look here. Mike Brown said they were going to move the ball. For the last 4 losses, they have not. Mike Brown said he's going to play 9.5. Last night, he played 9, right? He played 9, but then he gave, see, this is the thing about Kevin McCullough. Let me just break this down. This is why in the beginning of the season, a lot of y'all was like, we need to play some of the kids. They need experience. And I was trying to tell you, we're trying to win a chip. Kevin McCullough is Exhibit A. This is what I mean. Kevin McCullough played 6 minutes, right, last night. 2 of 5 from the field, minus 17. But what I'm really talking about with him, and he is Exhibit A. He is good. And he's going to be a pro player. Kevin McCullough is. But he's going to make rookie mistakes. Even though this is not his rookie year, this is the first time he's getting minutes on the big stage. So it's like he's a rookie. And he makes a lot of rookie mistakes. Last night, he was making a lot of dumb bonehead mistakes that, you know what, eventually he won't make them. But the problem is you can't have it when you're trying to win a championship. That's the problem. Okay, you can't have it. I know Mike wants to be all kind of collaborative and play with all these guys. You can't do that when you're trying to win a chip. Now, I'll say what you want about Tiz, but when it's time to win, he shortened up that rotation because he put guys in there that wasn't going to make bonehead mistakes. And if they did, he can get up in their ass, and they knew better. But this ain't going to work. See, this ain't going to work. What we need right now, he need to tighten the rotation a little bit. Clarkson, Deuce, Mitch Rob. And we need actually to have Mitch Rock come off the bench. And look, I'm gonna look it up right now because I ain't looking it up before. I'm gonna tell you right now. Look, the beginning of the year, if you all recall, we need to start Mitchell Robinson with Karl Anthony Towns. It don't work. Last night it didn't work. And I'm just saying it don't work. When they substituted Josh Hart, 6'4", and for 7 Mitchell Robinson, that's when they started really running the table. Now Josh Hart is hurt, so you can't run the table because he's hurt. Now he's gonna come back soon. But what you gonna do in the meantime? Start Deuce. I mean, dang, man. And that's what I'm saying. I'm blaming Mike Brown. I don't see no adjustments. We lost 4 in a row, and he's sticking with the same. This is the thing. And I can't tell you who he going to start from game to game. I can't tell you which youngin' he going to play and which he going to sit. No, man. Look. You know what? This is the thing. Season ain't over. I'm glad we got a game coming up at the Garden on Wednesday. And then there's a road trip. This is good. I'm hoping that by Wednesday we get Josh back so we can stop this BS because I'm trying to tell y'all, it's not working. The Towns-Robinson combination, it works in spurts. But I wouldn't start the game off with it for the reason I talked about yesterday when I said, listen, you can't allow a team like Detroit to get off to a big start on you, so you got to be spending the game coming back. That's what I'm saying. And that's what happened. See, I'm trying to find this thing out here. Hang on a second. Because, okay. So, in 2-man rotations, when Robinson is with, and this is the first time I'm looking at it, so I'll be just as shocked as y'all if it comes out positive, because my eye test says no, it doesn't. Let's see, Towns and Robinson are plus, they play 144 minutes together, and they're plus two. All right, then maybe it's not as bad as I thought, but I don't know. Last night, beginning of that quarter, the first quarter, it wasn't working right, man. It wasn't. And then, again, when you really want to stop the ball from getting in the paint, and this pretty much the first 15 points Detroit scored, I think there was maybe 1 or 2 threes. The rest were in the paint. The Knicks lost the paint game last night, 54-32, and it ain't the first time this has happened, as we know. You can't allow that. You cannot allow, Brown will come after the game and say, yeah, they beat us in the paint. Well, what the hell are you going to do about it, sir? That's what I want to know. What are you going to do about this? Because in the beginning of the season, especially when you put Josh Hart in the starting lineup, the Knicks was controlling the paint. Now everybody making the Knicks look like a G League team in the paint, 52-34. Everything Detroit was getting that they wanted in the paint, everybody. The rookies, everybody was getting in the paint whenever they wanted. You cannot have that. Again, we know the Knicks could play better than this because they've already shown it this season. If they've never shown it, if they weren't like top 3 in the East, I would say, oh, maybe we have a problem. No, this is just bad coaching. I got to say it. Lack of focus on what we talked yesterday, getting back to fundamentals. There's no way in hell they should have come out last night and had Jalen Brunson shooting all them shots in the first quarter. There's no way that they should be out here getting, Detroit is every other point getting off in the paint. How do you stop Cade Cunningham getting in the paint? You got to double him. You got to block the paint. You know how they do when any team, including Knicks, is playing against Giannis. What they do, they create a wall to make him give the ball up, because if Giannis gets in the paint, it's over, right? Pretty much. So you got to create a wall, 2 or 3 guys, and make him get the ball up. That's what you got to do when you want to guard the paint. And you know what was really embarrassing? You know what really made me sick last night? See, a lot of y'all was like, we need to run more zone. No, we don't, I kept telling you. Why? Did you see how Detroit was picking apart? See, when you play a good team in the league, you can't run no damn zone. They will pick you apart. And that's what Detroit was doing last night. And why was they playing zone? Because they're too weak defensively. See, this is the league. You got to be able to guard man to man. See, this is what separates men from boys in the league. This is what separates players that play and players that don't. Guys that are able to guard man to man. Now, we know Jalen Brunson's a weak spot, right? But we make up for that. You got to cover him. But damn it, you can't have people just coming in the paint anytime they want. Coach Brown, this is where the problem, beginning of the season, we talked about the positive and negative of Mike Brown. He wasn't my first choice, but I wanted that tough roughneck cat that came out of Memphis. But we talked about how he starts fast and his team sometimes don't finish strong. What I'm watching right now is that Mike Brown needs to step up. They done gave this fool what? I think he gave him a 5-year contract. You can't just get rid of him. Okay? You can't. So he's got to step his game up. And I'm sure he'll be the first to tell you that. Brunson's got to step his game up. They should be collaborating on what needs to get done here. Because that's some bullcrap, man. No way. I'm watching them play this high school ass zone last night. Like a 1-3-1. I was like, what the hell? This is the league, man. You can't do that. Not if you want to win. Not if you're talking about a chip. If a dude can't stay in the game guarding one-on-one, he got to get his ass out. And you know what? Let me give a shout out. I'm going to give Deuce also a shout out. Deuce played 25 minutes, 5 threes the brother hit. And he was the only one out there along with Tyler Koliek playing some damn defense. You know what I liked about Tyler Koliek last night? In the first quarter, a couple of times, Detroit had fast breaks, and Tyler Koliek broke it up. And even if he has to foul somebody, Tyler Koliek is getting that TJ McConnell on him now. And I'm loving it. It wasn't even like, okay, he's 3 of 8. I'm not one of these that look at the box score and say, oh, he played good or be bad based on the box score. No. Koliek played good. He was like, I'm not giving you that basket. I'm going to foul you first. That's what I'm talking about. So I like the way he handled business. Now, he's still a little shaky. He's still youngin' in terms of learning the game. But you know what? That toughness was there. One of them was Cade Cunningham, and I forgot who the other one was. But this dude wasn't just giving you no layup. He learned from Jalen Brunson the footwork, but damn it, he learned from Deuce McBride on that defense. Loving that. But also, though, what I noticed is OG Anunoby and McBride Bridges, Wingstop, was getting beat backdoor a lot yesterday. And why? See, this is the thing. I was concerned, and I told y'all, Mike Brown didn't show himself to be a defensive coach. Yeah, when he was with Cleveland with LeBron and them, he did. But after that, he ain't really, no. And the problem is, when a guy like, let's use Mike D'Antoni as an example. Mike D'Antoni, offensive genius. Okay, he took Jeremy Lin from the scrap heap, made that boy, Lin Sanity, right? But he didn't have no defensive schemes. See, Tom Thibodeau had defensive schemes. What's that mean? You know where you're supposed to be on the floor based on where the ball is. You know where you're supposed to be on the floor. If you don't, he'll take your ass out. That's why he had tightened his rotation the way he did. Because he could only trust a few dudes to know where they're going on the floor on the defensive end of the floor. See, Karl Anthony Towns get easily confused. Remember, Juju used to get easily confused. And their head be turned. The game moves so fast, they getting giving up layups, right? Okay. Cat still gets a little confused, but see what's going on now, they're not running no defensive scheme. When you see a guy like OG Anunoby get turned around like that, that's not good, man. That's not good at all. McCall, too, it's like K was just riding him right into the paint, all the way to the basket. No. This was the worst loss of the year. And let me say this right now, and I mean this right now, today, the Detroit Pistons are the better team. I'm not going to concede that they're the better team come May, like some of your fools going to do. No, I'm not going to concede that. They got to beat us in the 7-game series for me to concede that. But right now, they're the better team. They came out, they executed their game plan. They did not allow the Knicks to take them out of their game plan. They played their game and they came prepared. This was the second night of a back-to-back. And the night before, they just had a real close one against Cleveland, which they won. I didn't know till last night when they posted it that Detroit's the best back-to-back second game team in the league. They win 59% of their second games. These cats are for real. Somebody was like, F Detroit, bro. I told her, listen, you got to respect your opponent. The Pistons are for real. They ain't no joke. They for real. They are the Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer, Dennis Rodman Pistons. They really are. This is the modern version of that. They was physical with Assault Thompson, physical, and Beef Stew and K. They all physical, tough, and they keep coming. You know, like the Knicks was doing. So there's going to have to be some adjustments made. Definitely. Yeah, there's going to have to be some adjustments made. I think they should shorten the rotation. Again, I'd start Deuce, bring Mitch Robb off the bench with Clarkson and Tyler Koliek for now. I wouldn't even play McCullough a whole lot. We're trying to get right. They should have did it last night. But instead, they got their ass beat. And I'm saying, again, yeah, Jalen Brunson needs to take responsibility. He's hogging too much. He's hogging the ball. There's no way he gets 21 shots and freaking Karl-Anthony Towns only gets 4. Like, I know Detroit was trying to stop Karl-Anthony Towns, but come on now. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, man. That's really bad. And look, here, Deuce had 9 shots. Now, Koliek had 8. And Karl-Anthony Towns only had 4? A guy that no center in the league can guard? That's just bad management of the team. Bad coaching. Just period. Mike Brown, you need to get your act together, sir. You need to get your act together. Stop having Brunson bring the ball up against pressure. I need Deuce, McCall, OG, McCullough, Koliek, Clarkson. Y'all should be bringing the ball up. Not Brunson. He needs to be off the ball. Am I correct when I'm saying, wasn't Brown saying that in the beginning of the year in preseason? He wants Jalen more off the ball, and he was right, and Jalen was devastating. Well, now the boy feel like he needs to dribble up 94 feet against pressure. 6 turnovers and no assists later, we're in the 4th game of our losing streak. This needs to stop. Jalen's going to say, I know what he's going to say. I ain't even look at it yet. I was so disgusted. I went to Netflix. I was like, man, I can't even watch. And you know what? I got up at 2 in the morning. Couldn't sleep. I was so mad. That's why I don't do post-game analysis, because I'll be too emotional. Some of y'all just like to spill that mess out like a woman. Excuse me. But I don't want to do that. I want to sit down, think about it. So I couldn't even sleep. I got back up 2 o'clock, had me a glass of wine. 2 a.m., watched some more Netflix, and then fell asleep. And I still didn't feel right when I got up this morning. Because you know the food tastes better when the Knicks win. And you know when they lose like that, damn. So, look. I want to see some adjustments Wednesday, Mr. Coach Brown. Stop all that smiling and you better be doing some serious collaboration. I don't want to see Jalen Brunson going. Because, look, they're going to have somebody dogging him. Now, listen, this is the thing, man. Once the NBA sees a weakness on a team, it's like being in the jungle. Only the strongest survive. And if you got weakness, they coming after you. So now everybody smells blood in the water with the Knicks. I happen to think the Knicks are way better than what they're showing. Way better. And they've shown it already this year. So I'm not worried about them. They don't need to make a trade. Like I said, Abu Selly is the only guy that they really, in my view, need to worry about trading. You know, other than that, we just need Shamet and Josh back, you know, and we can get back to what we're doing. But I'm not ready to write off the team or, you know, there's some idiots go, oh, you know, Leon's got to do something. No, he ain't got to do nothing. He hired this fool. He's going to be here 5 years. He eating Tibbs' contract right now, 3 years, $30 million. So he got to keep, you know, doling his deep pockets. But damn, you know, you can't be, we done been through this before with all these multiple coaches. You got to stick with Mike Brown. Somebody need to talk to him, though. And they need to figure it out quick. Because there's blood in the water. Once they see that you weak, they will come at that weakness. So you can expect the Clippers to come at Brunson. You can expect them to try to let him go one-on-one in the first quarter. You can expect them to try to get in the paint against the Knicks. The Knicks have got to decide no more. No, you're not coming in here. Even if it means fouling out, I don't care. Stop people from taking your paint. That's what I'm saying, man. Tibbs didn't allow that. I'm sorry I keep mentioning, but you know, some of y'all just wasn't catching it. I was. Tibbs didn't allow that. Come on now. Stop them from taking your position, punking you in the paint. Damn. Anyway, y'all can tell I'm a little perturbed. I think y'all are too, if you're real Knicks fans. But I ain't giving up on this squad. I'm just saying Mike Brown better get his head out of his ass. And let's get this straight. Let's get this straight. Y'all enjoy your Tuesday. We'll be back at it tomorrow. They playing at the Garden against the Clippers on, I think it's going to be on League Pass. Then they go on a 4-game road trip, which, you know, it sounds hard, but I'm glad. I'm glad they're going on a road trip. They need to get back into what they need to do. Let's get embarrassed. I'm glad they did. I hope they hurt. I hope they can't sleep like I couldn't sleep last night. Better get it together. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. So.